years I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
welcome back, welcome back. What up, though? This is Aubrey from Detroit. How's everybody doing? How are you, Sid?
I'm doing well. Here in Georgia, it's not too hot, not too cold, but it's going to be a rainy week, and we need it.
Oh, okay. It's been dry there lately?
Oh, yeah. It's been all week, but it's been 70s, so we've been good. It ain't 90s. 90s would just about, fry us.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that does sound good. That sounds perfect. Meanwhile, we're in the 90s again, so hey, have pity on us all. What about you, JR? How are things there where you are? What's the weather like?
The weather has been glorious, very nice, warm. I want to say we're about somewhere in the 75 to 80 for you guys. So, yeah, quite nice weather-wise. It's what summer's supposed to be,
Exactly. My son earlier today, he sent me a text and he said because he went camping up in northern Michigan this weekend, and he sent me a text and he said, "Mom, I am so ready for autumn." And I was like, "Oh, no, you're not. No, you're not. Don't say that." I mean, as hot as it is, I enjoy summer. I wait all year for summer here in Michigan. I'm not through with summer yet. We got several more weeks of summer. We'll be celebrating summer until September the 21st. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you there. Bab says it's doing the 80s in Illinois. Is that like a humid 80 or a dry 80, Babs? Thank you for that. And hey there, Miss Wilson, first one in the room. Shout out to Miss Wilson. Yep. So, okay, guys. I got this. So I got some comments about this screen last week, and I got this up because I don't think I explained it last week. But I have this picture up in the background because this is exactly how I feel. So the expression on Sahara's face is exactly how I feel about this season right now. What about you, JR?
Yeah, I can't quite pull that face, but I definitely know. I definitely know what you're saying. I mean, my sister earlier was saying the same thing. She's like, "This is the last time I'm watching this," and I was like, "Yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna get much change, but we'll see." I mean, next week we have the getaway, so things will definitely heat up in there. But I definitely see what you're saying. It's looking like it could be same old, same old.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it. I can't wait though. I still am excited to see the getaway. Oh, what about you, Sid? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like, how did we get here? Why are we here? And how do we get away from here? Because I just don't understand. We are here on a show titled Ready to Love. It's not like we don't know what the show is or what it's about. This is the 10th freaking season. Why are we confused? Yeah. I'm confused about why we're confused. What are we doing?
Well, you know what? I will say the daters this season do seem to be a lot more realistic about expressing to one another what's really going on. Would you agree? Hey, little hurler. Would you guys Sid?
Are they expressing? Are they telling each other what they need to be talking about? Because I feel there's some serious conversations and even some minimal ones that they are just not talking about. JR?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like there are a couple of people who are on dates expressing, where they may find difficulty. They're being quite vulnerable with that. But yeah, there are many conversations that need to be had, because if the show's ready to love and you know what love looks like, or you have an idea of it, then you should be ready to embrace it when you come on the show. It shouldn't be a surprise to you. You know, you're not forced to do this show. You apply for it, or you're selected for it. You go through auditions. So there's a process. So these people know what they're getting into. So that's why I hold everyone accountable.
Yeah, we're gonna hold them accountable. We're gonna hold them accountable. All right, guys. So we start off with the ladies in the ladies' lounge with nephew, cousin, Uncle Tommy, right? And he's giving them an assignment, and the assignment is that they're going to meet their men, their respective men's best friends, right? And they're tasked with also speaking to the best friends and asking lots of questions to better determine if this man is really for them or not. Yeah. So we got the first date up. We got Kiara goes out, meets Jay, his best friend forever. And they begin to talk about Jay being in this 11-year long relationship. Your thoughts about that, Elsie, about this conversation?
I mean, okay, Jay, it stands to reason you've been in an 11-year long relationship that shows some stability, okay? On the flip side, it could also show you don't know when it's time to go. I
Mm,
appreciate that he's able to be steadfast. He's able to be there. Once he's committed, he's committed. But sometimes I kind of look at that on the other side. Did you not know when enough was enough? Did you just stay there and take a whole lot just to stay committed in a relationship? They said it was, back in high school or whatever. So I'm wondering if, the mother of his children, if this is her, was she his high school sweetheart, or if he learned by the time he got with the mother of his kids that, hey, sometimes I gotta leave and I gotta, I'm going to take my kids and I will help, I will raise them and be the primary parent and not stay in a relationship that does not serve me or my children. So I have a lot of questions. I need to see the footage of that whole date because I have questions.
mm. I think, too, I like what she said when she said, but you know what? You could have broken up 11 times, even though his friend was like, well, yeah, but they still came back together. Like you said, it could have been toxic. We don't really know. JR, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, if he's had an 11-year relationship, I basically assume that Jay's quite inexperienced. He hasn't had the ability to date around with many women. Because I think he's still in his early 30s. So that would kind of make it seem like that high school sweetheart may be the mother of his two children. Ultimately, though, um, I think at that age, that person may be all you know, and you stay in that relationship for fear of wanting to try something new. Because at that young age, when you first started the relationship, they're probably very happy together or whatever, and probably thought
Hmm.
they'd stay together for a long time, and ultimately it didn't work out. Now, Kiera, I think she does appreciate the stability side of things. Anyone would, 11 years is a long time. But I think, he may be like a little bit more inexperienced in the dating world than she is.
Then Kiara?
Yeah,
Oh, really? What gives you that impression?
because he had an 11-year relationship.
Okay, okay.
He's
What,
30 something. How old is Jay again? Isn't he like 32?
Yeah, somewhere around
Oh,
there.
right. So 11-year relationship has taken him to where?
21.
Exactly. And then the friend talks about high school sweetheart time.
Yeah.
I mean, the way you're talking longevity, it may be, a sprinkle of a situationship, a one night stand here or there, but it's sounding like maybe two, maybe three long term relationships.
In the space of what?
I'm talking about like the high school is a long term. Maybe he had a little short term or sprinkle situationships, and then the 11-year relationship. I mean, as you said, it's not a lot of experience,
Mm,
out
yeah.
there.
And from what we heard about Kiara's relationships, we just heard something about that one previous ex, but there probably were other relationships too. Her baby father's in the big house, right? So she may have some inexperience as well. That's why we need to see more of their interactions around that date, because we need to kind of understand where they are in terms of their dating experience. Are they going to realistically work out based on what we know about them? I don't know about Jay, to be honest. I think there's something about his personality that makes me feel like he may be a bit bland, and Kiara seems like she's a bit more outgoing, lively. So I'm not sure if their personalities match either, but time will tell, I guess.
I gotta raise an objection, JR, about your assessment of Jay, but in my opinion, Jay, I'm like, we're hearing a lot about everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're
Okay.
hearing a lot about Kiara. We hear a lot about everyone else that he is attached to.
Mm-hmm.
The only time we heard was a little bit of play in the first episode when he was there. I think there's a lot Jay is keeping close to the vest, unless production is keeping it close to their vest.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jay, it stands to reason Jay gives me the quiet, solid guy that I don't like to see it when he gets mad.
Right.
But I'm not going to say he's any kind of wilding out or anything like that. It's just, I like to see the full rainbow of people's personalities. But yeah, Jay is giving me, when something is too tight put together, I'm like, what happens when the strings kind of loosen? What is Jay like when he's partying? Party all the time. What is Jay like when he is the father that's got to show up for his kids? They're giving me a lot of everybody attached to Jay, and I'm not seeing a lot about Jay, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense, because I was thinking the same thing. We really don't know a lot about Jay.
No, we don't. But the other
Except
thing
for
is,
the 11-year, he's been in an 11-year relationship. That's the, his key sticking point. I've been in an 11-year relationship. Most men can't even handle 1 year.
right, that's
But
true.
it's 11
But-
years with no marriage.
That's what I was wondering.
I mean, that is not a sticking point for me. 11 years you with this woman or this person, and you ain't have no ring on it. I'm looking at you sideways.
And 2 kids.
And 2 kids.
Right. So, yeah, I get that. But you have to remember as well, the editors, the casting, they curate these characters to portray on the screen. So they deliberately give us some information, but not all of it, because they want to present these characters a certain way. So there probably is a lot that we don't know about Jay, but how he's coming across to me is, very, very, I'm not saying he's problematic at all. He seems very calm, very measured, but like I said, just a little bit too quiet for my liking in terms of who he's matched with. That's what I'm saying. She comes across as not an opposite personality, but she's definitely more lively and vibrant than he is.
And Jay is coming across.
And I don't see someone as live and vibrant as her saying my man for someone who is just vanilla. So that's just what's throwing me off too. Why is he, many of the women after they have a date or encounter with Jay is like, Jay. And I'm like, okay, I'm not seeing it. Production, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. So that's where I am as well. I'm not seeing it, but they're obviously experiencing it. So there's more nuggets to be unearthed. Jay.
Well, Miss Wilson has some really great points. One point she said is that that Jay, the 11-year relationship, that young lady is the mother of his children. And then she also said that she feels like Kiara is not a good fit for Jay, because Jay is just a feeler and Kiara has not gotten over, her late ex.
Mhm.
You have any thoughts about that, Jr.?
Could be valid. I mean, like I said, she has an ex that she's the one that's got an ex who's incarcerated, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
She's
yeah,
one of them that has someone incarcerated.
right. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like, because obviously that guy's not on the show, so we don't know much about that situation. But is there still an attachment there? She's still sending him commissary. Is she still in communication with him? You know, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't really know, but overall, I mean, the date wasn't bad. She did get some information out of it. I don't have a lot of notes, just that the friend's name was Aaron, and I think we covered all the rest of it. Oh, that he is in cybersecurity. I did catch that. Oh, and I like that the friend Aaron did say toward the end that it actually takes two people to make a relationship work. I agree with them on that. Do you guys agree?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. Um, oh, is that them that has the, oh, I'm sorry, that has the four kids between the two of them? And the friend said, "Hey, you guys could be like the Black Brady Bunch, minus
Yeah.
two."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So on to the next date. That's Tay with Cisco, his buddy Zach, and this one was very interesting. This date right here was really interesting to me because we know that Cisco's got some financial issues. He doesn't quite have his own place right now. He's going through a divorce. He went through a divorce recently. He doesn't have a car. So his buddy, his two buddies, they're there, Zach and Q, and they're asking Tay, like the one buddy is saying, well, you know, he was really hurt by you saying something about his lack of having a car and financial stability. And I just wanted to come through the TV screen. Was I the only one?
I wanted to ask him, where's the lie? Where's the lie?
Right.
He
That
don't
part.
have a car. Where is the lie?
Right.
Now, the thing is, sir, your buddy can't speak up for his own daggone self and explain why right now a car is not a financial sound situation. I mean, if he is in a metro area, and I'm thinking like, you know, New York Metro, you really don't need to have a car to be around. Okay. You don't need to have the responsibility or the expense.
Right.
But you got to talk and open your mouth and speak up for yourself. My thing is like, okay, the friend did what I cannot stand what some people do. This is her boundary. This is her threshold. I need a man with at least making exactly what I'm doing and has a car, has a this, has a that. I need them to be at my level. It's not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable to say, hey, I need you to be at least on my level or above. But the friend turned it around to try and make her feel guilty. At least what we saw, y'all. This is an edited show. That you have to feel guilty because you hurt his feelings. Well, then buck up, buttercup, and get a freaking car or move it along. I'm sorry. This one irked my nerves. It's like, why are you trying to make her feel some kind of way because your friend was in his feelings? I understand everybody goes through hardship, but if he could sit there and say, hey, Tay, I'm going through a divorce. Right now is not a good time. I have to prioritize things like getting my own place. So a car right now is not in the cards. That is a mature adult conversation. Not telling me like, you hurt his feelings. Well, heck, he hurt her feelings for pursuing her, knowing he don't measure up. I'm hushed right now because I'm getting lit.
No, I love it when you get lit. What do you have to say, JR?
Yeah, I think you're right. Tay has a right to have a preference of what she's looking for, and Cisco is not there financially. I think it's just a physical attraction that she may like, and his personality and things like that. His build, his height, his looks and things. But so he's not the complete package that she's looking for. Whereas, Khalil has his own business and has a different situation. But I don't think she's attracted to Khalil as she is to Cisco. So With Cisco being her number one connection, and the meeting of the friends, yeah, they did try to guilt trip her a little bit, and
I felt like
try and play on her, pull on her heartstrings. Come on, man, he's going through a tough time, man. You don't have a car, and you're
why
gonna
would
use
you
that
date
against
him
him.
then? Why
Yeah,
would y'all date him then?
yeah, exactly. So, Cisco is not ready to be in a relationship with a lady who has those aspirations of the man she's looking for. So in that instance, I don't think they're a good match. You can't just go based on the physical. If he doesn't have the other things that you're looking for, then it's probably best to start looking at Khalil and the other guys that do have the financial stability, or are at least in a better situation than Cisco is.
Well, if you're worried about your friend's hurt feeling about not having a car, why don't you buy him one? Okay? Why
There
don't
you
you buy
go.
him one?
You know he's good for it. You know he's good for it. He'll pay you back.
That's your brother. That's your brother. Buy him a car and level him up. You talk about support and support. Well, support starts at your friends, not your girlfriend. The friends who've been there with you through thick and thin. Well, your brother right now is a little thin, so why don't you help thicken him up?
That is
Yeah,
so true. That is
absolutely.
so true.
And in my opinion, Cisco isn't going to last long. Like, that is probably a crucial factor for a lot of the women that are left on the show. So I
Yeah.
don't think he's going to be around for too long.
I don't. I was surprised he didn't go this week, but I do now understand why they kept him for next week. It brings more drama into the house, I believe. But
Yeah.
I just gotta say this. I don't know if anybody here knows of or has done any research on some of their occupations. So Tay, for example, is a nurse anesthetist. I hope I said that right.
Mhm.
So I went to look it up because I was like, okay, I think I know what that is. I have a friend that's an anesthesiologist. I went to look it up, and then I went to look up, of course, what their salary typically is. Let's say it's basically something like over $200,000 in a major city. So now, if you compare that to, I don't know what bro man what his income is, but he ain't got a car. So I'm assuming that it's not $200,000 a year.
He works
He,
for the housing
he's in
authority.
housing. Yeah, he's in housing.
Okay, and all that's fine. All of that's fine. But to your point earlier, El said, I think that you know most women like a man that is financially stable, has his own place, and in cities where mass transit is not that great of an option, they have their own car. They have their own place, their own apartment, house, condo, whatever. They're setting up for the future, and so I don't understand. Also, I got a question. I got another question. Okay. So coming off of that, um, what is it about him, Cisco, that he doesn't get along with his family? What's going on there? What are the dynamics? Because I'm not really clear on that, but yet I keep hearing, well, my line brothers are more like family than my own family.
Mm.
I feel like there's some major trauma there.
I think that could be to do with the breakdown of the marriage that he's just gone through. So I would want to know how long has he been out of that marriage?
Okay, good question.
Yeah. But
And
yeah,
it's
there may be
financially still hurting him.
exactly. So if it's recent, then it's more understandable because it may take it may take time to rebuild. It usually does. But depending on how much he lost in the divorce settlement or whatever. But there may be some ill will in the family about what went down in that marriage, which is why it isn't talked about on the show so much, because it still may be a precarious situation. That's me trying to put my level head on, but at the end of the day, him and Tay are still having conversations, so maybe he shared certain things with her that we haven't seen on camera yet.
True. True, very true. But that's yeah, that's some of the thoughts I have about Tay and Cisco that
Remember, he said he's been
Mhm.
cheating. He's cheated in the past. I wonder if also, that is, what
The reason
everybody
for
doesn't
the
agree with. But I have to
Mhm.
say, I keep on saying, and I say it again, this is Philly. This is Philadelphia. People may cheat in their relationship. I'm not saying they condone it, but Philly is made of some real strong stuff. People
Yeah.
underestimate Philly, as you see with the ladies of Philly. They are true roundaway girls. And the
Mhm.
thing that the family, it's got to be something real heavy why we ain't talking. Not just mama, not just grandmother, like he said, it's the other members of the family. So that is some heavy lifting. This is a man that is going to look to you to be his family. And I have to say, for folks out there, if you have not been with someone who doesn't have their family and you become their family, you become their everything. It may
Right.
sound nice and great in the beginning, but sometimes that gets smothering because you are the only anchor that they have to stay afloat. And what you don't want to be is someone's everything when they don't have anybody else. But he has his line brothers. We're not saying you don't have anybody, but you are their only family. That can get exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It can get exhausted. And then I just want to say this too. So I was personally offended by the Line brothers and this gaslighting, if you will, of Tay because like when do you take accountability? Men are always, a lot of times men are saying that women don't take accountability, but how is he taking accountability for his life? I don't even see really why it was a good idea for him to come on the show at this point in his life. Maybe, like Tay said, maybe he's the kind of guy that needs to be alone to build himself back up.
Right. Well, I think maybe a little TV time and some change in his pocket is the reason why he's on the show.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but also, looking at his build, his physique, the way he comes across, he might have felt he's got the personality for TV, to build for TV, and all that stuff, and see what avenues can open up after the show. But you're right. I don't even know how he's lasted so long. Maybe it's because there are other guys who just weren't being considered for relationships, of course. But he's not in a position to be dating any of the ladies on the show at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think so. But guys, you're out there in the chat. Let us know if you feel like this was a good idea for him to come on and to be dating at this point in time and juncture in his life. And I know, yeah, we all go through ups and downs. I totally get that. But is at the time when you're going through the most and you are financially unstable, is that really the best time for you to be spending your energies and time dating?
Well, I would also say, just to flip it just a little bit, broke people find people as well. They need love too. So even if he isn't there, there are some guys who meet the lady when they're in the rebuilding phase, and when he eventually lands back on his feet, it means a lot to him that she stuck with him through those hard times. But on this show, none of the ladies appear to be like that. Maybe Rose, because she likes to care for everybody, apparently, which we'll get to later. But other than that, the other ladies are quite firm in their careers and their salaries, and they're boss babes, and they're running things and disqualifying guys who they think are more junior than they are. So I'm not sure how he's going to survive, to be honest.
And see, I'm not.
Yeah. Oh.
Go ahead, Elsa, because I got a
JR, there's junior and there's
Mhm.
basement level. And right now,
Thank
in
you.
the basement. Okay.
Yeah,
And
he
I
is.
understand what you're saying. But sometimes, and it has to be a rarity with relationships, the fact that you are moving into her place, she may never let you forget that.
Mhm.
The fact
Absolutely.
that she is helping to build you up, you may never forget. It may grow to be resentful that she's making 200,000 and now she is the one, technically the financial leader in the household, and
Mhm.
now you're very resentful because she's not helping finance your car, but you still have to be on your bus pass. I'm not saying that to
That's
take
true.
digs at him, but the dynamics
No,
of the relationship is going to be hard.
that's true. And there may also be resentment the other side, where she's like, why am I constantly propping up this guy? Why isn't he on his own 2 feet yet?
Because if you
And
can't do it on your own, adding another person, even if it's someone who loves you, that is still another mouth to feed,
Mhm.
another mouth to consider, take care of, and to emote.
Yeah,
Again, why are we here? Sahara, thank you for the look. That her look is
That's what
everything.
I'm saying. It says everything. Like Jr. I want to go back. You were speaking, and I'm not sure. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when you say that the ladies are boss women, and they kind of look down. I'm paraphrasing your words now.
Mhm.
They kind of look down at these guys that are junior to them in terms of their career. I want to get a clear understanding. You're not saying that it's unfair for women to expect men to be as capable and as successful, as hardworking as they are. That's not what you're saying, right?
Nah, it's not unfair. They just have to look for a guy that they will find attractive in that capacity, that they will be able to respect, And unfortunately, I don't see Cisco as rising up to that level anytime soon. I don't know what other avenues he's got going on. I don't know what other ventures he's got going on. But at the moment, we've already seen Diana, for example, dismiss Cam. We've already seen some of the ladies like Angie say that she is not prepared to give up the reins to let a man come into the relationship and lead. And, how is he going to lead a relationship if he doesn't have the ability to protect and provide in the way that the ladies want? So, no, it's nothing against the ladies. They're doing their own thing. It's whether they can find a match that of what they're looking for, which is someone that's doing better than them or on the same level. And Cisco is not there.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I want to give a shout out to Miss D Brown, who says it's one thing to just meet someone when you're down and not quite on your feet. It's one thing, you're out at the mall, you're out grocery shopping, and just, hey, wow, that person's there. You exchange numbers. But to come on an intentional dating show while you're down on your feet is crazy work, is what she says.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
I agree. That's what we're kind of saying right here.
yeah, I agree too. But like I said, there is a financial incentive as well. They get paid per episode and they get the television time to have 15 minutes of fame afterwards. So,
Yeah, so it may help improve his situation, I guess is where you're going with this,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, it's fair enough. Fair enough, but I just don't think that um the women that are thinking with their brain and not just the other bodily parts, um I don't think that they're going to be okay with that. I just don't. I don't see that. And we're going to find
That,
out more, I guess, when we get to the getaway.
yeah.
You were going to say something, JR?
Yeah. No, I was agreeing with you. He ain't there. And none of the ladies that I can see. I mean, who's going to be a match for him? He's just sent home Shanice, who was more considerate of his circumstances, more supportive or whatever. And none of the ladies remaining have that level of compassion for him like that. He doesn't have a connection with them like that. So I don't see it working. If Tay's not down for it, then he's going home. Probably next.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
And hey, Shanice was the best one because Shanice, remember, she said she has risen, from being homeless before. So
Exactly.
of all the people that would, commiserate, understand, exactly what he's going through and where he's trying to be, Shanice was it, and she was pouring into him.
Exactly. And that's why he got tearful and emotional. She was pouring into him even when she was being sent home. So,
Right.
yeah, he lost the ally there. And now he's obviously going to have to face the reality that he's not ready to love and by these women's standards.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be something that we're going to see a little bit more of later. So we move on to Khalil and Tay. They meet up, as well as Deanna. Deanna's there, and then Tay comes in. And I don't know if either one of these ladies was a little surprised to see each other. I'm always wondering when they have these dates and they're meant to meet your family or meet your close friends, and then another woman walks in, like, how do either of them feel about that? What are your thoughts, Elsit?
I wouldn't feel it. They may feel some kind of way, but I would. This is the nature of the show. You don't know who's there. You don't know who's so-called competition, but then it may be just that they threw you in there. I wouldn't feel any kind of way, but I would just look at it like, "Oh, that's what you like to," and I'm a measure my steps going forward.
Yeah. Well, I think they kind of don't know. Like they're told you're gonna go on a date, this, that, the other, meet at 2 o'clock. And then when they get there, they're not told that someone else is gonna be joining them. Because like you said, they could have been thrown in at the last minute just to add a little bit of drama. And we also did see Sahara get pissed because she's like, I've never had a one-on-one date with Cam yet. Every time I go on a date with Cam, there's always someone else here. So it seems like they're not actually told that there's going to be like multiples on the date that they're going on.
Yeah, that's what I feel too, Jay. I agree with you. I think it's kind of kept secret, and they purposely kind of stagger and have one of the the women come in later. You
Yeah,
know,
to see the interaction, create
hmm
some more drama.
hmm
Yeah, surprise! I'm here
hmm
too.
Guys, if you're enjoying this content with Wonderful Life is Reality, JR, El Cid, and myself, please go ahead and like the video. If you aren't already subscribe so you can chat with us. Okay. All right. Um, Deanna, I just want to say this. Deanna, I feel like, and I'm a straight woman, okay? I'm heterosexual all the way. But Deanna is fine, fine, fine. Am I the only one that's seeing this?
You are
JR?
not the only woman on the panel that sees it, Aubrey.
Oh,
Okay? She is
okay.
fine. She
She,
is absolutely amazing. She is what, womanly figure and curves are, considered and made of and historically recorded. So yes, Deanna is a fine looking woman.
JR, thank you for that.
Yes, she is well built and put together. Yes. Um, I didn't like the wig, but in terms of her package that she has physically, yes, she definitely stands out from the rest.
She does. She really does. I mean, Tay's beautiful also. All the women are many of them are very beautiful, but Deanna, and I think it's
The
because of her
physical.
stature. Yeah, it's her
Yeah.
stature.
Yeah.
She's so outstanding because she's tall, she's
Hmm.
thick and curvy, she got that beautiful chocolate skin, and she just owning everything. She comes across as a very confident woman.
Yeah. And we can see how confident she was from her outfit last week. All right. With the chaps or whatever they were. So she's very confident in herself. Nothing wrong with that at all. She's very well put together. Um, now, obviously, we have to look at what her mindset is and what she's looking for, and how she treats the people that she's on a date with. When she was on the horse riding date with Husieen, that ended very badly, and they lost connection. But he could actually be a good match for her if that didn't happen. He's quite tall himself, carries himself well spoken, and as far as I can see, he's in a good job. So that might have been a good avenue for her if she wasn't so abrupt with how she treated him on that date.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Cut to the scene later on when she's talking about his friend. Why did she describe his friend as little, like little, whatever the guy's name was?
Emasculation, that's why.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, no, she didn't.
He came
No,
and
she
brought his little friend.
didn't. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, emasculation. But I get, this isn't the first time that we've seen that type of, we've heard that type of rhetoric from her. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised by that.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you recall, JR, I was concerned with her from the get-go when she was emasculating Cam on their date early on in the
Exactly.
season. The
Right.
season before the Never Ever Met.
Yeah.
When she was emasculating Cam and she was saying like, oh, you've only been a firefighter for this many years. Yeah, I've got 11 years seniority, yada yada yada. And I was like, but why? Why does that need to be said in this moment? Like
Hmm.
he's not your guy anyway. You kind of saw that from when you first looked at him, because maybe he's not tall enough, not thick enough for you. Okay, fine, but why the emasculation?
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of power trip that goes on. You know, you put someone down and you get like a thrill because from doing it, because you know you're looking down on that person, right? It's
You
a
know,
conceited. It's like
mhm.
can be conceitedness or something like that. You know,
Yeah, maybe
dark
it's
character, arrogant.
arrogance. You know what though? You might have hit on something, because I have to say, I have to admit, years ago I was in a all male dominated field, and I was working with this guy younger than me, and I was the lead on this job, right? And I remember saying to him, like, just sit there and look pretty, look cute or whatever. And the look on his face, and then I realized that, and I apologized. I apologized. That wasn't, I don't know where that came from. But because I'm working with men, I think there was a part of me that, because he was an underling and because I
Mhm.
get so much crap from the other guys, I think I kind of took it out on him.
Mm. Yeah, subconsciously can
Was
Yeah,
he
happen.
pretty?
he was. He actually was. That's why I told him he could sit there. I'll do the work. Plus, the other thing was, I was concerned that he wouldn't know how to do the setup, and for him to mess
Right,
it up, I would have to come behind and do it again anyway. So I just said, just sit there. But the
right.
look on his face was like, I get the impression nobody's ever said that to him,
Mhm.
and I think it's kind of weird when women shift things around and become the aggressor in some ways. But
Definitely.
moving forward. Um, so we got Cam, and he brought a lady. He's the only guy that brought a lady. He brought a lady, Nesh, and he has Rose, Sahara, who's right here with the expression, and Angie on his date. Um, I'm sorry, Nesh, when asked what is it about Cam and his relationship, she said, well, you know what? He's something of a people pleaser. He doesn't know when to let them go. He'll keep dating them and dating them, even though they're not what he's looking for. He's like a people pleaser. Elsie, what did you think about that interaction?
Again, another case of I don't know when to let go. I don't know when enough is enough. Or, I just want to make sure I leave you better than I found you or you found me. But I applaud Cam for bringing a lady as his friend. And if y'all were watching that entire scene and peep that, Angie's entrance. Angie's entrance was to gauge his friend's reaction because Angie
Mm,
came in and Angie jumped on Cam and hugged him across the chest and laid across his chest. And then Angie peeped over her shoulder to look at the friend.
mm.
And the friend looked at her and gave a little smirk. Like, girl, you ain't got to do all this clowning because I did not buy a ticket to the circus. You know, the friend peeped it, clocked it, and I think what threw Angie off was the fact he brought a lady that is his friend. And
Yeah.
she is me. I love his friend because I am that longtime friend, that longtime platonic friend
Mhm,
that he
mhm.
would be like, I need you to double date with me and I need you to check this lady out and tell me what you see as a woman. I'm that friend.
Mm.
I liked his friend. She is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, she came in a black and she had her necklace. I love Cam's friend. She came put together and she did what she needed to do.
Mm.
I want to hear the footage we didn't hear because I'm sure she has an opinion for him because she had no problem telling him in front of his face, hey, he doesn't know when to let go. He's going to hold on. He's going to do everything he can. And that's a testament to it works for his job. He is a
Mhm.
firefighter. It works to rescue people. It works when
Ah.
you have to go into dangerous situations. You do not give up. You plow through things and you accomplish your mission. But that is not going to work in delicate relationships. It's
Mm.
not going to work. You can't kick in the door there may be backdraft in the whole relationship too. You can't kick in the door and save everybody, because even in
No.
that field, my grandfather was a firefighter. Even in that field, you have to know when you have reached your limit, and you need to point of no return where you need to also make sure you come back home safe. So again, I'm thinking the friend gave a lot of information just in that to let us know Cam would probably sacrifice himself for the sake of a relationship. That's what I got from the friend.
Ooh, wow. So Dina says, I want to ask you this specifically. Elle said, do you feel like he's Captain Saver? What is it you say? 304? Am I saying that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like he could be a Captain Saver, you know?
Yeah, he might be. And to answer the other part, why he and Tay didn't make a connection, because he tells us he stepped away. He stepped away when he saw Cisco said to the other men that Tay's my girl. And you see, he and another person said they kind of backed off. And then he said, oh no, if I wanted to, I would totally step forward. I'm like, yeah, no, you pull back once Cisco said that's my girl, and you wanted to, nothing wrong with you saying bro code. But again, this ain't a bro code kind of thing. You might miss your blessing, because while she's with him, that may not be, maybe you need to save him and save her and not have them be together. But maybe she is not, maybe she's not, Cam too, this is Philadelphia. And Cam has not seen the spicy that is behind Tay yet, but he's certainly seen it with Sahara. He's certainly seen it with Roxy, who was there before. Cam looks like he likes his ladies, and maybe Captain Saver, but it could also be, I need a little spice in my food. I can't go.
I think so.
I can't be
so
bland.
Too.
Right.
I think so too, but I also get like, okay, let me ask this question now, guys. And I hate every season to have to bring this up. Every single season of Ready to Love. But I gotta introduce this to the conversation because I've been watching the way he moves, Cam. Is there something in him that he likes Sahara for all the spiciness and all the other things? And to me, they just seem to fit well together. That's just me. But is it possible, like his connection with Angie, is it a faint bit of maybe colorism? Does anybody else feel that? Or is it just me?
I don't see that with him. I don't see that because he certainly had an eye for Rose before. He certainly, I don't see that with Cam. I'm not saying that it could not be, but I really don't see that with him.
Okay.
But hey, it could be, but for me, the delineation is the the personality, the fieriness that I love with Sahara. But Angie is a little spicy, but it's misdirected. And Angie hasn't shown him her softer side yet Sahara has. So for me, it's a matter of he likes a little bit of spice. Angie got it. Rose got it too. But it's a matter of only Sahara has, kind of calmed down, not calmed down, kind of shown him basically there's more to me than this. This is a facade to keep the jokers at bay. And if you a real one, then you could step to me, is what I'm seeing with Sahara.
Okay.
I think like Angie and Rose may be mild spice. I think Sahara's extra hot spicy, and I think that's going to be Cam's downfall. I think he does like the spice, like you both have said. Spice is probably being a bit too polite. Likes them feisty. He likes them, and he's admitted that as well. He did admit that in his confessional before we went on the break. He likes his women like that. But it hasn't worked out for you, Cam. So maybe you need to change that and stop trying to save people when they set themselves on fire, when they got hot temper. You don't want to wake up to that every day. You don't want to be constantly putting out fires every day at home as well as at work. So he seems like a mild, chill guy. I just think his picker may be off because Sahara, she's going to bring drama. She's going to bring theatrics. And I'm not sure if he's going to be built to deal with that every day on top of the stressful job he has.
Good point. Good point. I just want to know, like I said, I'm trying to get with why he seems to be very enamored with Angie, but I'm not feeling that is necessarily fully reciprocated.
Maybe Angie needs spice too, because Calm is kind of mild and mannered. You know,
And
maybe he needs spicy too.
Oh,
think-
he's kind of vanilla.
I think he does come across as quite calm, but I think he's put himself in a lot of trouble because now he's got 3 connections and they all have a different spice level, but they're still spicy nonetheless. Sahara flat out told him, listen, you need to choose wisely, but in a way to kind of say, listen, make sure you choose me. You get them other 2. That's what she was kind of dropping to him. It's too early for that. You have to let him go through his process, date who he's going to date, and then realize that if Sahara is the one, then it's by process of elimination. So I think she jumped in the gun, and I don't know who her other connections are. I think she's trying to latch onto Jay just to play spoiler. It's a numbers game as well, but Cam is setting himself up for a big problem in the retreat. He's going to have 3 ladies to juggle his time with, and historically that doesn't end well when a guy's in that situation.
Well, it's interesting. Like Little Hurdler is saying that Cam wants to protect his peace, but Sahara is the complete opposite. But what we see from the little clip for next week, it looks like our girl Angie is a little spicier after all, because she's talking about she done busted the window out in her man's car before.
Exactly. I don't see, and I understand and appreciate Little Hurdler. I appreciate you saying that, but Sahara, I guess because I commiserate so much with Sahara, the 20-year-old El Cid was very much like Sahara, but for the right person, you need to be able to let your guard down, because jokers have come and jokers have, dressed themselves up to be something they're not, and now you got to be defensive with everyone. But I could see Sahara definitely and Cam working it out if they continue this way. She showing her gentle self and he showing that he could take care of that. And again, I could see him as he wants to protect his peace. Sahara's going to turn that against the world and help to protect his peace. So again, while I see her as, yes, y'all see her as spicy as a warrior, I don't see her as fighting him. She's going to fight the rest of the world. She's going to be that queen piece on the chessboard. She's going to fight everybody else, but not her king. And if Cam is that person and he continues to treat her as gently as she wants to be treated and as gently as he has been treating her, I could see it actually working.
Yeah, I can too.
I can't see one at all. I'm the opposite. I can't see that working at all.
Why? Why is that?
Because that softer side that you guys are seeing, I don't think I quite see that. And even if she is exhibiting a more calmer demeanor, it's only because she's not on the bottom like she was in the first couple weeks. So she doesn't have a reason to be as hostile with the guys at the moment. But no, if he wants to protect his peace, Sahara's not the place to go. She's gonna bring those theatrics and the personality that she has to his world, and I'm not sure that that's going to benefit him in the long run.
Well, so wait a minute. You think that Sahara would do that, but Angie is the one that's breaking out the windows in the car?
Yeah, but I mean, we're going to get to Angie. No, we're going to get to Angie. Angie, I don't think is going to work either, but for different reasons, and that's more to do with her fear of leadership from a man. So I don't necessarily think Angie's right for him either. And if she has busted out windows and acted out like that, then obviously we have to kind of say, does she have the right temperament to be looking for love at the moment too? Does she need to go do something about that temper? What drove her to do that? How recent was that? Is this something she's done more than once? Has she done other things close to that? but not quite that level. You know, like we don't know the circumstances. So, but from what I saw from Angie, she got teary-eyed at the mention of letting a man lead in a relationship. So there's obviously some trauma there and some pent-up feelings about that whole dynamic in a relationship.
She's the last of 11.
Yeah, I wanted
She's
to
the
talk about
last of 11. And she
So
has about either 6 to 8 brothers. And if she's feeling like this, I need to know a lot about Angie and a lot about all these men who have not risen to the occasion to really be your support. It's
mm,
too many around her that there isn't one. Too many. Your brothers? I mean, it's screaming like I'm the youngest and I had a problem on the playground and y'all didn't have my back. That's what it's giving me. So I'm
really.
done with y'all, is what it's giving me.
Hmm.
mhm.
I don't know. I wanted to say this about Angie. I found it kind of like in at least in her confessional when she opened up even more to us as the audience and the viewers, I felt like she was being very authentic. I felt like she deals with the same thing that a lot of Black women deal with, where we're not allowed to be soft because there's no one around us to support us in our softness.
Mm. Well, yeah, but you also got to have your own stuff together as well. Just like we say with the men and their finances, you got to have your emotions in check too. You can't be, smashing out people window when they pick you off about something. And
Right.
I said,
That's
if
true.
you've got, if you're the baby, like the youngest of 11, usually the youngest is spoiled, or sometimes there's so many siblings that they might get forgotten about
Okay.
in the in the pecking order of things, and she might have had to do things on her own a lot without support. But ultimately, how does that manifest into the relationship that she gets into? Does she then expect the partner she chooses to compensate for everything she lacked growing up?
Mm.
And is there a level of disappointment that comes because she can't find someone that is able to do that?
Mm.
But she feels like she needs to take charge over everything that she does in her world and hasn't quite met someone who has, can satisfy that need for stability and support in the way that she wants to receive it.
Hmm. I don't know. I just feel like I have so many questions for her. I have so many questions for Angie. Like, what was her life like growing up? She says she's the youngest of 11 children. Were both the mom and dad in the home? Did dad leave mom to get divorced early and she's still young and she did not see her mother being supported by her father? I just have so many questions because I think that oftentimes I met this stranger today, and shout out to Mr. C, who's an educator here in Detroit area. And he was saying, like, so often Black women we're not feminine, that he tends to date outside of the race because we as Black women we're not soft, and that he feels that other women from other ethnic groups are softer and more feminine. And I think that that is a lot of times we as Black women have so much placed upon us, and we're already coming back from the rear, and we feel like we got the whole world upon our shoulders. If you're a nurturing woman at all, you're caring for her. With her situation, she's basically saying she's caring not only for her 2 kids, she's caring for her parents, her elderly parents, and she doesn't feel like her 10 other siblings are even helping. I know people that are there, have been there for whatever reason why the siblings aren't helping. Who knows why? Who can understand that? I'm an only child, so I don't even understand those dynamics, but it happens. And so, yeah, she doesn't feel feminine. She doesn't feel soft. She doesn't feel able to allow a man to lead her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be very true. Now, you mentioned she's got 2 kids, so obviously the relationship with the father of those children that may also play a factor in why she doesn't want to let someone lead as well. Maybe that relationship, he didn't fulfill that need for her.
Mhm.
And also, I think the fact that Cam doesn't have kids, and she didn't want him to meet her ex as well.
Mhm.
So those two factors kind of made me feel like they may not be a good match. Like, he
Oh,
doesn't have children, and she was kind of reluctant to introduce him to the father of her child, but she let Khalil meet the father of the child or something like that, you know. So
Husieen.
yeah, Hussein. Sorry, it was Hussein. Yeah, but the fact is, I don't see much compatibility with Angie and Cam. No. Nothing
mm.
against them. I just don't
Mhm.
see the chemistry there.
Yeah, and I can agree with you on this, because I was thinking while she was being vulnerable in the confessional and explaining why it's so difficult for her to allow a man to lead, for her to kind of pull back. I felt like that's unfortunate, because when the man comes along that wants to lead you and it has everything off your little checklist, and you have everything on his, and you guys would make a dynamic duo together, you may not be able to pull back, and that may be the reason why the relationship ends and he moves on. Because if the man wants a woman to kind of pull back and allow him to do for her the things that maybe haven't been done in the past, in past relationships, that's going to be problematic. Do you kind of feel that, JR?
I definitely feel that that could be the case. It's difficult to unlearn behaviors, and the older
Mm-hmm.
you get. So, if that's how if that's what she's been experiencing for a majority of her adult life, or even back to her childhood, you know, it's not a quick fix. So, is she ready to embrace a relationship with a guy who has the ability to ground her and center her, and also lead the relationship, and she can respect and admire him for the way he's taking care of her? That's yet to be seen, and I'm not sure if she can let her walls down. Because I haven't seen that. All I've seen so far is her tearing up at the suggestion of conceding leadership in a relationship. Now, I did actually have a quick flash of inspiration. Now, she wants to lead in a relationship, and obviously, we just spoken about Cisco, who is not in the best financial situation at all. It would be someone like Cisco that I think Angie would prefer to be with, because then she can control everything. There'll be financial control. There'll be, she'll make the decisions and everything like that. But I'm not sure that they're actually attracted to each other or anything. But I think someone like him, who is in a lesser circumstance, a lesser situation, that might be who she is better off with, rather than someone who may have more financial earnings than her and maybe set up in a different and better situation. She may struggle to acclimatize to that type of guy.
Okay. Okay. Anything you want to add, Elsie, before we move on to the next date?
When she said, you better I may just tell you, sit your A down, I thought of, New Jack City.
Okay. What made
Sit
you?
your $5 A down before I make change. And I was like, in what reality are you speaking to your partner like this? In what reality are you speaking to someone you love like this?
Wait a
I
minute.
just
This is the Angie we're
Angie,
talking about. Okay.
Angie, yes.
Ooh.
When Cam's friend, said he likes to help, and he said he's not going to leave you. But Angie's like, well, what if I want to do it by myself? And he's like, no, I'm gonna still check in and still help you. She's like, I'm gonna tell you, sit your A down. I was
Yeah.
like, Angie, he's not trying to take over. He's not trying to set you aside. He's not telling you not to pursue your dreams. I'm just concerned as to, like, in what reality are we speaking to someone who wants to help us in this manner. I don't care if it's your boyfriend or even some of your friends. Yes, you are still the person that made it into fruition, but it's okay to have help. It's okay to be helped unless you've had people throw their help back in your face. I have questions because if your mate wants to help you, isn't that what you want from a partner? I want to know what kind of partner she really wants. Does she know that? Because if your
Mm.
partner is like, I'm not going to take over, I want to support you, and your reaction is, I'm gonna tell you, sit your A down.
Mhm.
What exactly do you want out of your partner? Because you certainly did it to, while you were in labor, tell him sit in the passenger seat. Well,
Yep.
now here you have a man that is not going to sit in that passenger seat.
Mhm.
What
And
what are we doing, Angie? And now all of a sudden I got to think about, I may get a call. I am a firefighter out here. I have to have a certain image in the community. Now I may get a call from the sheriff because you got destruction of property, behavior and reckless behavior and all kinds of stuff in public because you busting windows. I can't have that in my life.
Mhm.
I can't get promoted to lieutenant and major and all that stuff when my girl out here in the streets busting windows.
Mhm.
I'm
Busting out his
sorry.
windows that he has to go to work with when he drives to work.
She coming for the fire engine. Let me bust these windows out too. That would surely get her sent to jail. But you know what? You got a very excellent point, El said. And I was thinking as you were speaking about her, the way she talks to people that care about her, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe that's the problem with the 10 siblings. Maybe she has turned them off to the point with her words, her tone, that they're like, well, you know what? Since you superwoman, you handle it then.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
well, as Jr. said before, it could be that she's number 11 and she's been left. There may be age gaps between her and the others, and they may have left it to her responsibility. But again, has she reached out to her siblings and say, "I need help. I can't be the only one left behind and have to be responsible for all this because all of y'all left." But then again, I know, being around, siblings, majority brothers. I was
Mhm.
raised around guys. They're not my brothers, but the family dynamic, all the families in the neighborhood and know each other. They have boys. I know that can harden you as a woman, as a girl growing up, that can harden you because you harden like the
Mhm.
fellas because you also got to justify why you even in the group. So I understand where she is, but she's got to taper it down a notch.
Mhm.
And what do you want? I just want to ask her what type of man she has seen in this lifetime
Mhm.
that she thinks would be, well in her life and she will blend well in their life.
Right.
Mm.
She has to be ready to receive love and ready to receive the help that she needs. That's what she needs to work on. Being receptive. And then walls have to come down in order for that to happen.
Right. Or to Elsia's point, she has to really decide and determine what type of man she's looking for, because maybe she doesn't need a man to lead. Like she said, maybe she wants her man to be more submissive to her, or more
Mhm.
you know I don't want, maybe I shouldn't say submissive, but more of a partnership. She doesn't uh believe in maybe traditional roles, and she feels like, I just get the sense, and I hate to use this term because I think it's a horrible term, but I feel like she thinks she's superwoman. And
Mm.
I run across a lot of women that think like that, but then they're always crying about, but I have to do everything. I'm always doing everything for everybody, my partner, my children, my parents. But why? And then I gotta add this one last thing, totally off the subject. If you have 10 siblings and you have to ask them to do things for their parents, something's very wrong, because they're older than you. You mean to tell me you love someone and you don't put your love into action? You see your parents are elderly. You see they need help. You see they need attention. You see that they need you to come by, spend time with them in their last days, and you don't realize that? I got to ask you. There's a problem.
Hmm. Very true. And then I would also say if she does find someone that lets her leave the relationship, is there going to be a loss of respect for that guy if he's willing to be in that position for her to take the reins? And again, that's her doing everything. She's going to be controlling everything. And that's something that I think she actually should want to get away from, to lighten the load. Why would you not want someone to come and lighten your load for you? It doesn't have to be 50-50 and all that stuff.
Right.
But if you're doing everything and it's clearly taken a toll on you and you want to change that, then surely you must try and work on allowing someone to come in and help you remove all of those tasks you have to do every day, all of the demanding people ringing off your phone and things like that. Let someone else handle it and share the load.
I agree with you because again, like Angie, I used to carry everything or think I have to do, or if I get help, it isn't done the way I would do it, and it isn't to my specifications. And I had to like let it go. Is the point that it is done, or is the point that it's done my way? That is what you have to determine. And sometimes just getting help, you just got to appreciate the fact that this man wants to help you. There's so many people that are invisible in their relationships right now that they're not seen. So this man is sitting here. If I'm with you, you are not invisible to me, and you have a problem with it. Tells me there's something there. There's something beneath the surface even further, but I understand her. But again, she can certainly open up and be, a little bit different. Maybe she needs a Khalil. Khalil seems like he got a head on his shoulders, but he gonna let you roll down the hill however you want to, and he'll come save you once you say his name. Khalil, could you help me? He's like, sure, I'm here. That's what it sounded like.
You to say something.
Right. I'm waiting for you to say something. I don't want to interject. I don't want to come in and think I'm taking over. I'm gonna just let you do you, boo. That's y'all. This is an edited show. I do not know Khalil. Khalil could be one of the more domineering men here. We ain't seen it. But I don't know that man. But his laissez-faire attitude is like, oh, I didn't know you needed help. You didn't tell me. I saw it, but I don't want to come over there and then you bite my head off, and I'm just trying to help.
Exactly.
I mean,
get out of there.
Exactly. So Khalil always got a smile on his face. I'm sorry, until I see something off the wall, Khalil is my favorite. He is still my favorite. So no negative talk about Khalil.
Wait a minute.
Happened in this chat.
Cam, the firefighter that you interviewed on your channel?
Yes, I interviewed Cam. Cam seems good, but Cam got some, spot cleaning to do. He does have some spot cleaning to do, but I know more about that. But Khalil is a fine man. Again. And his talents are worthy to be explored for those single ladies out there. So again, I'm just saying, the tattoo on the sleeves, what they represent, what they name, he is very well spoken. But again, like Jay, I'm only saying I like Khalil because I don't know too much. He may set off warning bells once we get to that retreat, but Khalil don't say too much. And that is a problem for me. It is the aesthetic. I don't know much about him because all of a sudden we see Khalil on all these dates, but we don't see him during the first half.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Khalil is the dark horse. I think basically he owns a roofing company, so he's got bread. He's got his own company. He's he probably is attractive in the aesthetic side of things. But and we talked about his kinks last week. He likes to eat some groceries and things. I think Angie's biggest problem is going to be the fact that Diana may be mesmerizing Khalil with with her package and how she presents herself.
So, of course, that's exactly what those pants were to do, to let you see the peach cleavage. I mean, you and me, okay?
Yep, he was trying to make sure them peaches were ripe, right? So, I feel like Khalil
out there cracking up.
I feel like Khalil is probably the dark horse for me. I feel like he is someone that comes across as quite stable financially. He comes across as someone who has a mild-mannered personality. He smiles, he gives compliments, he receives compliments. I haven't seen anything problematic from him. And he doesn't have too many connections to the point where he's going to be overwhelmed and everyone's like, when am I going to get my time with you? And things like that. Whereas Cam is in that situation. Cam got Rose, Angie, and Sahara, and they all look like they're going to vie for his attention and his time. Whereas Khalil, he's kind of coasting at the moment. But I think he's got his eyes firmly on Deanna.
Yeah. Well, to go to Africa says Deanna is way, 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 way too much for him.
Oh, and personality-wise, definitely. But I don't think he's thinking about that.
Oh, okay. All
Just
right.
physical.
You said it. We'll cruise on over to our next date. Naeem and Deanna. Deanna gets to meet Naeem's friend Yusuf. And like I said again, this woman is fine. But Naeem, it comes up about his 5 children and the 3 mothers of his children. And that Deanna says she wants to have children herself. So how does that really fit in? JR?
Well, and that's going to be a lot of children. And Naeem's friend has 7 kids.
But he also has a wife.
Yeah, he does. He's got 7 kids. And Naeem's got 5 kids, 5 by 3 different women. It's kind of hectic. If he does have kids with, if he was to somehow make it with Tay, who wants children, or Diana, who may want children, it's going to be a very packed situation. I don't think Naeem should have been on the show either. That's too much. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve love or anything like that, but I'm saying, he has some stable employment, he's still going to be financially stretched with 5 children, at least on his plate. He may have custody of some of them. We don't know, because the way he was speaking, it does seem like he's a very good father from what they were saying. They've got an absentee dad, but at the same time, it still is a lot of children to have, and bring someone new into a situation where they have no kids and you've got 5. Yeah, I don't think that aligns too well.
Okay. Elsie?
Well, while we're on break, Naeem has been, having interviews all over the place. And, he has said the kids are older. I think his youngest just turned 18. So that certainly changed my thought and dynamic of him. It's not that he needs to be raising and these children are younger and school age. If anything, he ain't on there for child support no more, because the last one is 18. I'm just saying. So the thing with it is, yes, there are 5 children who are all of age, but they're still, the mothers of the children. Here's the thing. I'm seeing Naeem as less problematic, not because he owns his own that place, the gym and the juicing place. That is his business, okay? That he is properly registered with the state of Pennsylvania. I did check. Naeem is a businessman. He has shown that he can stand on his business. He can grow a business. He's also out there in the community. When, ReadyToLove production shows us the pieces they want us to see. And again, we are not seeing that Naeem is out here doing night walks and talking to the troubled kids in Philadelphia. We're not seeing the community activist that is Naeem, because that's not what they want us to see.
Oh, wow.
So during the break, and the one benefit of the break is that, yes, I'm still on Naeem's neck. You weren't responsible for, as far as producing children all over. But again, I guess the children's mother have nothing bad to say about you. And that is 3 of them. They have nothing out here to say bad about you. I would much prefer a Naeem in this situation with the adult children, with the mothers of his children ain't got nothing bad to say, and rather than someone who has no communication with their family. I have a problem with that. So while Naeem does say and say that he did, he was not the best of person or parent in his younger days with his first, couple children, he certainly has taken responsibility to that. He seemed well-rounded, and he seems like he's taken that into consideration. Now, for a woman that says she wants more children from a man who has 5 and his youngest is done is wild to me. I thought she said that, not that she doesn't want it, she could want it, but if I didn't want Naeem in her situation, I'd say I want children, knowing he don't want to go there again. So again, I don't know, and she's a woman without children, so her desire to have children is probably there. It would be a exit stage left, like, thank you so much, it's wonderful, but I'd rather have someone, who we are embarking on this family together for the first time. I would have bowed out right after that. But Naeem is there. He has to have someone come.
He does.
He has to have someone come there. I was like, why isn't Tay there?
Well, Tay checked out as soon as she heard 5 kids. Remember, she was like, "Uh-oh, nope,
Yeah.
thanks."
Yeah, she's she living her best life. She ain't trying to, even though the kids are grown, that's still, for me, that still could be problematic, because grown kids come home, grown kids can be messy, and they may not like the fact that, hey, he married you, but he didn't marry my mother. So, there's a whole lot that comes with even grown kids. Yeah, true. The biggest thing for a lot of people is, he's not paying child support anymore. Although we don't know that, because some men get so far behind on child support that they're paying well until the kids' adult years. That does happen, yes.
Or they'll pay till the grandbabies come if they that far behind.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the ladies have not burnt him in social media that I have seen. They have not burnt him. So if he's far behind or whatever, he said he has, made amends, and he stepped up and done, way better and whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that. But still, 5 kids across 3 ladies is still wild out here and reckless. So I understand why the women do not want to date him. Don't want to date him, don't want to marry him, whatever. I understand that.
Right. And that's what I was just ready to say. I got a problem with the fact that he didn't marry none of those kids' mom. None of them. But you keep going on dating the next woman and have 2 more with her, another one with this other lady. But these 3 women who bared your children were not good enough to marry. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I think one other thing that I would add is, even if their children are grown, he's coming to the end of child support or whatever. Does he want to go for another 18 years now that he's just got his finances back, back to a degree? Would he want to go back into another 18-year cycle again?
Right. And it seems like a lot of the women on this show, at least the ones that were interested in him, like Tay was interested in him at one point, and Deanna, they don't have any children of their own. So I'm kind of like with you and LC, like, if it's your first time having a child, I think if I were out there in the dating market, I want to date someone and be with someone, it's also their first time.
Right. It would have been great with Rose, because Rose's son is grown too, if not almost done with high school. It would have been, at the same stage in life, at least.
One last question about what you said earlier, Elsid. Was that throwing a little bit of shade on someone on the show when you said that you prefer, like, Naeem because he's having a relationship and his exes are still okay with him, versus someone that doesn't even speak to their family? Was that shade on someone on the show, maybe?
It wasn't shade. It was a full eclipse, okay? It was a full eclipse to Cisco. If you want to, Aubrey, you got to just tell me to say it out loud. I would prefer Naeem with the mother of his children having a good relationship, a positive relationship with the mother of his children. There are 3 ladies, because we know the whole drama with, that kind of relationship. I'd rather have that than Cisco in the situation where he is saying, I'm not making it up, he is saying that he didn't have a relationship with his mom, grandma, and the family.
Yeah,
There
that's
is just
weird.
something there for me when you are having a rough time and your mama doesn't wish to help you at all. That tells me a whole lot. And again,
Mhm.
baby mothers where you had a rough time, where you weren't stepping up or whatever, and you have made a total U-turn in your life, and they have seen it and they're willing to acknowledge it. That tells me that Naeem is at a position in his life that these ladies are still, I wouldn't say protective of him, but they're aware of the better man he's become, and they're not willing to throw drama on him. Yet Cisco is carrying a whole lot that he got to mend with his family, rather than, Naeem is coming with, I ain't saying a perfect bow, but at least he doesn't have that heavy lifting.
Right.
Yeah,
Because a man that could get one mother of his children not to be wilding out in these internet streets. Now here's a man with 3 of them and they ain't wilding out. I got to look at you a little bit different.
Lord have mercy.
Well, I already looked at him different, because while he bro hugging Cisco at the street festival, the next day he having a date with Tay, rubbing her feet, and that's supposed to be Cisco's gal that he was crying on his shoulder about. I was already looking at Naeem a little bit different because of that. Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Yeah, you come from
But we don't know
behind.
if those were filmed in the same order. Okay, we don't know, but we're gonna take it as it was served. That hey.
That's
Fair
a
game.
great
It's fair
point.
game. Fair game. It's not Cisco's girl. I mean, I know they've kissed, and they have a tight connection. I get what you're saying. It does feel a little bit like bro code or whatever, but no, she's fair game. He has to have his dating process as well and see if there's a match.
Don't blame me, because your girl let me touch her feet.
Back to Cisco. Little Hurler says that Cisco can't even get a plate for Thanksgiving. And I'm kind of like you, El said. Let's go back to the Line brothers. The Line brothers can't even help him, even if they're not going to let him stay at their place, because maybe they're married. And, I can understand that if you're married or you living with a significant other, you don't want another man coming in. I can understand that. But
No,
they're
no,
not going to even help him get a little bitty car, a little hoopty to get going.
No, man. Listen, you saw the Line brothers and you saw Cisco. You see how Cisco's built. You wouldn't want that type of guy around your girl in your house and all that stuff. No way.
Especially not since episode 2 when we first met him. He taking his shirt off.
Exactly. Imagine if you had the Line brother that was quite large, him taking his shirt off and Cisco taking his shirt off. You're gonna go with.
Well, now I can say this about Cisco. He wouldn't be the guy that I would pick to date because of his situations and some other things. It seems like he's lacking a little bit in maturity and pettiness. And I say that because last week when he was talking to what's her name, Shanice, and he got all sniffy and said, "Well, you know what? She more than cute. Tate is beautiful." Like, what? That wasn't even necessary, dude. Okay, you just really petty and very immature, in my opinion. But I just.
But
I don't know.
He's petty and immature out here on these internet streets, on Instagram, in these YouTube streets. He real petty out here. Cisco
is
in the
that
comments.
Right? Is that right, El said?
Oh yes.
He's
yes.
definitely
Because
not my type.
He's saying, that's the problem these days. Women don't want to build with a man. Da 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 da.
All kinds of always stuff. Talking all that bill crap, and then you build with them, and then they go to the other group. Don't play me. Don't play me.
Right, but he always. It seems like on the internet he's quick with one in the clip. He always got one in the clip ready to go. And I'm like,
you got the gift of gab as well as looking good. And that was what I was coming to, all the other things. But like you said about the Line brothers having him to live with them and their significant other, brother man still look good now. I can't take that away.
He does. He looks good. He's bilingual. He is a dark-skinned looking man. My thing is the attitude is just like how, JR here is always telling us the woman is beautiful, but her attitude stinks.
Oh, that pretty privilege. Yeah, the attitude stinks.
Thank you. That is exactly what's happening with, at least for me, with Cisco. He's a gorgeous looking man. I can see why he was a model, why he was a bodybuilder. He speaks Spanish. He's bilingual. Hey, wonderful. But then you get the wait a minute, that attitude, that da 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 da. It seems like if I say something that you don't like, it'll be a da 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 da. It's like, wait a minute. That is no place or no reason for you to kind of go off,
Right.
to people on the internet you don't know. Because one of the things he went, going back and forth with me, y'all know my name. It sounds Latino, and he
Mhm.
did not know who I was behind it. And it's like, I am a married woman. I am building with a partner. And then it kind of like simmered down. But you know what I ended with? I said, you know what? I would certainly love to hear your perspective. So if you have more to say, please come on to my channel. And he stopped talking.
Oh yeah, because he know when he comes on your channel, you're gonna ask him real serious questions, and he's not gonna be able to provide an
He didn't
answer because
deny it. He didn't deny coming. He just stopped talking.
yeah, but yeah. It couldn't have been Ron. It couldn't have been our guy Ron, right? Jr. Ron would have had plenty to say. One thing
Yeah.
about Ron, like him, love him, or dislike him, Ron stands 10 toes down in everything that he feels and he believes and who he is. He stands 10 toes down and he's very transparent, right?
And that's
So
okay. I would appreciate a conversation with somebody like Ron, because then I could understand and he can articulate why he thinks that way. That's my thing with Cisco. There's nothing wrong. I
mhm,
keep thinking about Jay-Z's can I get a what was song, how we gonna get around on your bus pass? The thing is, that's okay. You can say you living in a major city and it's not financially responsible right now for you to go into debt to get a car right now. That is a perfectly legitimate conversation to have. But I ain't hearing that he's saying that.
Mm.
There's okay. You can state to Tay, what is your financial objective? What is your path to getting where you need to go? And
that's the
for a
part.
woman, if we hear this is your plan of action to get where you need to go, either we input or we just listen. And then if we figure that is a whole bunch of hogwash, we may let you know. But I don't hear him telling Tay, this is my plan. This is how I'm going to get there because this is how I've gotten there before. I don't think that Tay is getting that conversation to feel like she's on solid ground with him.
Mhm.
It's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem. I'm coming from New York. People don't have cars. Tons of people don't have cars. He
Right,
living in
most
Philly. It's a
everybody.
metro area. It's
Yep.
totally fine not to have a vehicle if you're in a metro area and this is what you're doing. But we need to know the plan. We cannot go anywhere if you don't have a route. I need the route. Light up the GPS and tell me how we getting to that spot.
In her car.
What? What did he say?
He got the car. She's the driver. So he just has to hold the map and the GPS and tell her where the destination is. But no, I agree. He's just not. Um, the looks will get him through the door. His eye candy and whatnot. But does he have the ability to be what the ladies require?
Because
No,
we're
he
told
doesn't.
all the time we date potential. He is a potential.
Mm.
A lot of
And,
ladies date potential.
and like you said, he had it at one time,
Right.
bodybuilder, model, and all the rest of it. So,
And we
but
can understand a divorce can cut you financially. And he doesn't
Oh
have a
yeah.
child in that divorce that we know of. It can
right,
cut financially. We can all understand that. But I don't hear, I need the book report on the plan.
yeah,
How are we getting there? Because even though you got there before as a bodybuilder and a model, I'm sorry, the face card is not declining, but it damn sure ain't got the size, the maximum amount on it ain't the same as when you were 20.
yeah.
No.
That face, that model physique is aging, and at 41, he's maybe making a career change as well into housing and things like that. But he has to be more stable. He has to be more accomplished in what he's doing to meet the criteria of the ladies on the show. So it's unfortunate, but he maybe come on the show too early. Maybe in a few years' time, when he's back on his feet and up and running again, back to feeling himself, back to being confident, and not he doesn't have the trauma and emotional wounds that he currently is carrying, then yeah, like he might be a catch. But for now,
But I
nah, he ain't.
but yeah, he's not a catch now, but that's because of what we know. That's all we know from production. But I'm saying it's okay thinking about it. It's okay if he's here at this point. But again, what is his plan? Because at some point, I hate to, put them together. At some point, Naeem had the thought of a gym and a juice spot.
Mhm.
Right.
And he had a plan to make it happen. Business plan, this.
Mhm.
Whatever the plan is, either he has somebody who support him in that plan or not. But I'm not hearing a plan. And that is my frustration with Cisco. You want her to jump in the taxi with you, and she has no idea the destination or the route. That's the problem.
Yep.
Mm. Wow. Our viewers, they got a lot of stuff to say. Like, for example, one bad accident could flip the script, and he needs a plan. They're agreeing
Yes.
with you, El Cid. He needs a plan. And then I love it. Miss Wilson says Tay needs to stop kissing. Uh, El Cid, doesn't this remind you of something from Match Me Abroad?
Oh yeah, we just smacking lips. Too much kissing distorts your vision. But Tay don't need to do all that to get a vote. She just, have him rub your feet, Tay. That's the easiest thing. Okay? Have him
Yeah.
rub your feet.
Let them rub your feet. And for those of you that aren't aware, check back on Tuesday evening about 5 o'clock. El Cid and I will be covering Match Me Abroad, which is a TLC show that's new and it's really good. It's really, really good. But yeah, I guess we've given poor Cisco a pretty bad beating. We better move on to Husieen and his three BFFs. Like, why did he need three?
He need a
I'm not.
squad.
He needed a squad, right? He needed a squad. But you had Rose there and you had Angie there, and Angie apparently knew one of the three BFFs that was there, which for a minute had Husieen kind of like, I don't know where they know each other from, because the friend was, what was it else that he called himself, a dominatrix?
He's a professional dominant.
Dominant, yeah, it's different for men, right? He's a professional dominant, and so that had Husieen raising his eyebrow, going, where do you guys know each other from? But she cleared it up. She said, hey, I'm a professional bartender, and I happen to have been at bartended for some of his events. That's it. That's all. That's all it was. It wasn't like we were lovers or anything like that. What did you think of this date, El Cid?
When you talked about that with Angie, I was like, what type of events, Angie? Because the look on your face was that I have seen him in his skins and I'd rather not see it again. I'm just I'm sorry. I'm thinking of, previous before in Dallas, the Marvin and the shows he puts on, okay? So,
Mhm.
this date, I'm surprised Angie doesn't know a lot more people, a lot more of the folks that are around, because Angie is a professional bartender in Philly. Apparently she is a very good one and is, called for events a lot. So I'm surprised it was only one of Hussein's friends and not, that she's seen before. But she cleared it up real quick. She's like, not only is he a professional dominant, he also a polyester of it all. He's polyamorous. So she's like, not happening. No way. No way. We not having that. I just know him on a professional basis. He hired me for a gig and I showed up, did my job, and he paid me. That's it. That's all. I just didn't like the fact we got to see all this food spread out here and nobody get to eat. I was looking at now I don't eat meat anymore. I eat some fish. I was like, them fries look good. Them wings look good. And we can't even get our fingers sticky with the wings. And we talking about this. And I was like, that was after I was like, Rose, you were certainly in bloom on that date. Rose looked good. Rose, I'm sorry, Rose looked very good on this date.
She did. She really did.
She was a little put off that Angie, but Angie kind of sit away. Angie didn't have no drama for Rose or nothing like that. It was really, really really, really friendly banter. But I don't know if how Hussein is going to feel that. Hey, Angie, I can't hang out with you tonight, honey. Your friend hired me for a gig. I don't know how you going to feel about that. Um, and it's good to see that he is steadfast against a polyamorous relationship. That is his friend. That's his friend's,
Yeah,
thing on the
yeah.
side.
But when he said, "Hey, is there a reason why we can't get the two of you and Hussein? Like, maybe make a little menage a trois?" She was like, "Oh no, oh no,
And Hussein is like that. He ain't about that life. Okay,
no."
it's like that's. But he also wanted the ladies to know that is my friend. That is his friend. My friend's business. Don't think that birds of a feather, thing with him and I. We just cool and we kind of grew up a little bit. But Hussein is like, okay, no. All of them said no, no, thank you. But
Yeah,
I didn't like that we went straight into the sack only because his friend is a dominant and polyester of it all. But I wanted to hear a little bit more, and I didn't appreciate the whole
yeah. What
how
was
many
that
times of the week.
about? Yeah, what was that all about? Like his friend thought it was important for us to know that he has a high sex drive. Excuse me, sir. Most men do. Duh.
Mhm.
Like I don't really know. But apparently Angie thought that was cute though. Angie thought that was cute, which is kind of why Miss Wilson says she was side eyeing Angie. That and the dom friend of his that she was familiar with.
Um, well, out of the two friends, I'm sure Hussein wouldn't have wanted her to know the Dom guy. 'Cause that line of work is kind of seedy and a lot of activities going on that may not make a relationship viable with someone in that lifestyle.
I
But
got it. Oh, go ahead.
thank goodness she's only a bartender. It does raise the question, though. Obviously, if they were to get together and she does continue to work as a bartender, she's going to be booked for gigs like that. And how will he be able to handle that? She may be bartending around men who are and women who are engaged in adult activities at these places. So,
Right.
but Hussein seems very mild mannered,
He does.
somewhat of a straight shooter as well. Sets the record straight when he needs to. Um, Tall, very tall guy. Seems
Handsome.
very, right. Seems very assertive. Um, so I can see why ladies would be interested in him. I haven't seen anything wild to make me say he has any major deficiencies. But again, I think his personality may be just a little bit too quiet. Even though he's charming, he was just a little bit too quiet for the ladies that are around him.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask you guys both about that. What did you think when, the ladies were kind of complaining that he doesn't communicate on a regular basis, the texting nor the phone calls? What did you feel about that, JR?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had a mixture of that, right? We've had some ladies say they don't want to be bothered. I think it was Diana, was it, that said, listen, I don't want to be called, I don't want to be messaged. Like when we meet up, then we meet up. When we hook up, we hook up. But I don't need you to call me throughout the day and check in on me and things like that. And then on the other
Oh, that was Tiana. Yeah, okay.
then on the other hand, you have Rose, who's more like, yeah, and Angie, who's more like, yeah, no, I want to hear you. I want to hear what your day's like. I want you to check in with me, type thing. Hussein, he seems to be someone who's too busy sometimes to respond. So he prefers to be, I'll just see you after work, or I'll call you when I'm finished work, or whatever. Um, so that may put him at odds, like his work schedule or whatever that looks like. Um, but I will just quickly flash back to the libido comment. I thought that was completely out of pocket for the friend to ask about the libido side of things. That's for Hussein to get to know these ladies and find out, not for the friends to be inquisitive about that. Why they need to know that for?
Right. That's the part I was wondering too. Like that's one of those that's too much information. You don't need to know that, sir. Um okay, so
But
with that Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Elsit.
I have to say I have to apologize for Hussein, because I am like that. I will refrain from contacting during the day if I'm at work, and especially if I'm under a project, and I may forget to contact you back. It may be hours before you hear from me. And Mr. Elsit has said that previously in our dating life, that it was different. I was not contacting, checking in, hey hun, all
Mhm.
times of the workday, because he is he has his own company, but he does construction and stuff. And my thought is, well, one, I'm working, I'm being paid 8 hours of the day to put this first. But also I'm thinking, if I distract you, it could get you hurt. I'm thinking that, but that's our dynamic. But me, period, hey, I'm gonna check in with you when I'm done with work. I may call you when I'm driving home, but I'm not going to be the hey sweetie, hey this, hey that during the day. So I am Hussein. Y'all could say it's the more masculine side of my personality,
Okay.
but I am not the fluff, fluff, fluff. I am a text is a message to state a point. It is not
Yeah.
to just be I need to
Rambling.
reach out to you. I mean, come on, give me a break. But some people like that. Some people like the communication, to know that you were on their mind and all of that stuff. And for me, that's fluff. That's cute.
Yeah.
But what's the point? You know what? I was raised around the time where each text message did cost. So maybe that
Ah,
is it
yes,
too.
it did, right. That's true. It did. It did. I can agree with that. I know that life too. You're right. Also, I find me personally, see, Elsie, I find text messages sometimes to be just annoying, and especially if it feels like, to me, if we're dating or seeing each other, and it feels like you sent me a text message such as "Good morning, gorgeous," like you send that to everybody. Like what? Don't
I
send
don't
me
mind.
that.
I'm gonna give you a response that I would send to everybody. See, the difference is y'all talking about Amanda trying to play the woman, and I was always ready for the games because I'm playing some myself. So if you send me good morning, beautiful, or grand rising, I'm like, what's the password for the oath keepers? I would send you something off the wall that could be sent to anyone. Anyone. I'll be playing games. I'm sorry. I'll be playing
You
games.
play games right along with the
Because if
guys,
you
huh?
start the day like that with a text with me, you tell me, oh, we playing a game. Game on. Let me get my helmet. Let me get my sneakers. We playing.
You
So
a
I'm a
mess.
play. Grand rising, and I'm like, oh, is it grand when it rises? You see, I'm a play some games. So don't send me that kind of text.
Little Hurler says yes. Text messages fees will apply. El said, yeah. Some of us remember those days, so you're right. And like I said, me myself, I don't like a lot of texts. Yeah, text me you're on your way. Text me like Elsie says something that really matters. But now, me personally, I do enjoy phone conversations. I do enjoy hearing my guy's voice at least once a day. And it doesn't have to be during the day at work. No, it could be, after work, before I go to sleep. But I do enjoy being checked on and checking in on my guy. I do. But all that texting stuff, I'm with you, LC. Leave me out of it.
Yeah, but I have to adjust for it, because if he does the same thing like Cisco's friend, like he does have a heart and he feels some kind of way because you're not reaching out, I got
Mhm.
to adjust and say, okay, this is what you need. I'ma send something on my lunch break. Okay, I'ma still be within my parameters and still mean, I reach out the way he wants to be reached out. Or text me and say, hey, do you have a moment to talk to me, and I can let you know, oh, lunchtime is this time. My lunchtime is 11 a.m. So he
Mhm.
knows exactly what it is. It's like, oh, you want lunch? He'll call or text during that time, and we'll get the back and forth. So again,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, yeah, there's some being, there's some flexibility there. I see what you're saying. Absolutely. Absolutely. If it's a relationship that you're in, like you said, let him know that your lunchtime is XYZ time and he can reach out to you or he can come by. bring you lunch, take you to lunch, whatever. I like that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't bring lunch. No,
Don't
what?
bring lunch. Don't come by for lunch. Don't do none of that. Oh
Oh,
no.
meet you for lunch. Meet you for lunch then. And
No. Because then I want to leave with you. See, you're interrupting me in a good way because I'm gonna have to leave you and the good time and the good vibes of my person to go back and deal with these people. Oh no.
oh, so you saying after work? I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood. You saying after work, you guys can do whatever. Is that
Right
what you
after
mean?
work.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
can't do it during lunchtime. I got 45 minutes for lunch. I got to keep pace of time. And then I'm going to be resentful that I had to leave my husband to come deal with y'all. See, you're going to set me off in a totally different headspace. I don't need to be for the last 4 hours of the day because, I'm restricted.
Right. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I get you now. I totally get you now. That is it. That is all. Ladies Lounge. What were your takeaways, Elsie, with the Ladies Lounge?
It's getting thinner and thinner. It's getting thinner and thinner. I think that they saw the men all had friends. The ladies didn't all have exes, but the men all had friends. I just think that the ladies are being pushed in a certain direction with the ladies lounge, but I digress. I think some of the ladies should have been eliminated this round rather than a man. So that's my take on it.
Really?
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
so
I would
I
send
got,
Angie home.
yeah, I was gonna say, who would you have sent home? Okay,
I
okay,
said Angie home.
all right. And those were your takeaways, El said.
Yeah, it wasn't too much. I think they were surprised at who was there as well. Who were connections with their connections.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking back on it, I didn't think of anything that was too startling to me other than his friend got with Naeem, his friend got 7 kids, his friend is married, he
Yeah.
can do that. He
Thank
can do
you.
that. His
And have a
wife
nice
is the
day.
mother of all 7. He can do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I have to say it must be something in the water of Philadelphia because I have a cousin like that. Okay, I have a cousin, a male cousin. He is with his wife, and they
They
got
have
like
7 kids?
7, 8, or 9. I lost count.
8 or 9?
I lost count. Okay, like 4 years ago. Because every time I see her, I said, "Listen to me. Every time I see you, we can't have drinks. We can't go
Because you're
out because you
pregnant.
expecting something." So it must be the Philly water. Shout out to Philly. They are making
Shout out to
sure
Philly.
that the black population is not going to dwindle. Okay? Shout out to Philly.
Okay.
Well,
And what about you, JR?
it is the city of brotherly love, right? So there's tons of love to go around in Philly, man, clearly. But I think from the ladies' lounge, you're right, it's getting thinner, and I think there's going to be more competition because people are going to be vying for the same guy. And I think Sahara is switching her attention to Jay and looking around. Even though she's already stated this episode that Cam should choose wisely, as in choose her over the others. She's still quite comfortably looking at other options as well. And that's going to offset Kiara and Jay from what we see from the next episode, a little clip of them in the retreat. Jay giving Sahara a massage, and Kiara does not like it one bit, and seems to create some tension between them.
Yeah, because she said, "Don't come here acting a fool and making me look stupid."
Yeah,
And he's saying that don't make you look stupid, but yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
it's not her man yet.
Right.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking. This is
Well,
we
yeah,
ain't
but
together.
wait a minute. But she said on this episode, Kiara said that Jay is the only man for her there. So
Okay, but that don't mean you're the only woman for him.
Exactly.
ooh,
He still
We
has
are
his
not
process to go-
exclusive.
he still has his process to go through. And if he's still, if Sahara's turned her neck towards him, and Angie may have as well, so he has to go through his process. If Kiara's arrived at that conclusion already, then she's obviously going to feel more offended and hurt, but he has to arrive at that same place too, and he's
which
not doing it.
But you know what the kicker was, El Cid and JR? The kicker was she was saying it while she was in the bed, the
with her
bed that
back
they
turned
shared.
towards him.
I was like, oh, girl, if you don't get up and get out of that bedroom and take your things and be like done with that for right now, like what? All the
No,
bedrooms are taken? All the
no, she
bedrooms
don't
are
want.
taken
She don't want to throw his stuff out the window. Watch it.
no,
then? Mm.
no, she looked
You
like
mean
she was
you mean
laying there soaking.
you don't want to break the windows out of his car?
No, she won't. She won't be the one to leave. She'll possibly be the one to say, "You need to get out. You need to go."
Mm. But
Or possibly,
the men have power next week, don't they?
yes, they do. And obviously, there could be a situation where she's just pouting and she just says, "Listen, you need to shut down Sahara now, so me and you can do this thing."
But what I mean, the thing is, Sahara, I need to see the full clip for next week. I need to see the context of it to see her
Yeah.
popping off. Because what we were led to see was Sahara sitting next to Jay, sitting up front, and it's in the living room for all to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing hidden, ain't
Behind
nothing
closed
carrying
doors.
on unless you're making them moans and groans and sounds. But
Well,
even if she was, it's to poke at you.
right. It was. It
Mm.
If
was
that
performative. It was,
if
oh,
that
my neck
right.
hurt.
You think Sahara would be messy like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Um, oh, okay. So, what did you guys think? We get to the elimination date, and Naeem is asked out, and Husieen is asked out. What did you guys think of the elimination dates, and what did you think of who was eliminated? Did you think they picked the right person?
Yeah. I thought it was going to be either Naeem or Cisco.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
either one of those could have gone home. I know
Mm-hmm.
deeper conversation. Naeem would probably be the one I had thought would have stayed.
Really, Naeem?
Yeah, yeah, because even though he does have 5x3, he's
Mm-hmm.
more stable financially in terms of
Yeah.
having his own business and his own setup.
Oh, so you think that if it had been the way you were looking at it, Cisco would have been the one going home?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, it is production. So if that happened, then Tay has no connection. Deanna's another with no connection. And it would set off a ripple effect of no connection scramble. So I understand what you're saying. If the ladies had a choice, in some regard, but this way you have Tay and Cisco, and if Tay also gets a little massage on her shoulder, it could set off Cisco. So for a production perspective, I understand why Naeem would be sent home and Husieen kept.
Yeah. Because once Deanna eliminated Naeem, then he doesn't have any connections anyway, right? He's just a cool dude, but he doesn't have any budding romantic connections. Whereas
Exactly.
Cisco still has a budding romantic connection with Tay, but Tay also has Khalil, so it creates another dynamic, another triangle, and in that resort environment, then that could obviously get a bit juicy. So yeah, because we've seen that before too, right? If you see the lady spend time with one guy more than the other guy gets in his feels about it,
Mm-hmm.
and might want to talk about self-eliminating or something like that. So
And real quick, we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes. But any thoughts about the scenes that we saw from that we haven't talked about for next week? Anything that we haven't talked about? Because we talked about the getaway and how Kiara felt or whatever.
It would be
Anything else?
lovely to see those, well-toned men with their shirts off on the green grass.
Yeah. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
listen, I know there's going to be the ladies out there too. Now they usually have some type of group sport activity where everybody in the group, like, it could be in the pool or it could be some type of game or something. So you're going to see that happen. Don't know what it's going to be, but then you may see couples start to pair up based on the interactions from that game and spending time alone finally in the retreat together, which could be something that some of them are looking forward to, actually getting some alone time. Like we said before, Sahara and Cam. Sahara's like, I haven't dated this guy one-on-one yet. It's just elimination date so far. So maybe in the retreat they get closer and see if something can develop there too.
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know. For some reason, I see Cam chasing after Angie at the retreat. I really do.
Could
He
be,
could be. He could be.
could be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I could be wrong. Uh, are those all the observations that we have for tonight? We'll shut it down in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. JR, tell the people where they can find you and what you're doing on your social medias.
Okay. JRX TV on the IG, where you can find health, fitness tips, things like that. YouTube, Life is Reality, where you find relationship coverage and collaborations with actually Aubrey, El Cid, sometimes Kojo, and people like that. So um, find that there, and then just started TikTok and started putting some traveler stuff and some property stuff on there too. So hit me up.
Yeah. By the way, I have to say, I love the stuff where you're traveling. Were you over in, was it Egypt? Where are you at with the on the
Yeah, I've got
sand?
some footage from Egypt. I got some footage from Dubai.
Hmm.
I'm gonna start uploading some of the properties from London
Oh, I love those too.
as well. So
Yeah. Okay.
stay,
All right.
stay tuned, stay locked in, and subscribe, follow, all that jazz.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for that. Sid, what about you?
I am Elsa932 on YouTube. I cover Match Me Abroad on Tuesdays with Actually Aubery at 5:05, where we have a good time. The show is on TLC on Sunday nights. Too late for me to stay up to watch it.
Yeah, we on
On
tonight at 10, guys.
on Wednesday, I cover the King's Court. That is getting spicy. I also have unscripted on Fridays. We have a good old time on my channel at 5 o'clock where we play games. We talk about music and whatever in the chat wants to talk about. That's why it's unscripted, because I don't script it. And I also have unsolicited advice, where I bring topics and people asking for advice on the internet, and I bring it to my chat and we give our unsolicited advice. And wonderful enough, YouTube has granted me the opportunity to have memberships now. And so our membership has grown, and I trying to do member lives Monday nights at 8, and we get down in the members area. That's all I'm going to say. But yes, definitely King's Court is getting good. Definitely Little Hurler. But yeah, that's what I'm covering now. And on Wednesday, Netflix has Love is Blind UK season 2 coming out. And so I'm going to be recapping those in video and trying to do a weekly live. That's going to be about 3 to 4 weeks of content. And then I'll try to go back to everything else. So it's a full plate. It's a full plate. May not be the full plate Cisco cannot get at Thanksgiving, but it's a full plate.
That's hilarious. Yeah, guys, definitely check El Cid and I out this coming Tuesday. We'll be continuing to cover Match Me Abroad, where you got all kinds of daters from the U.S. that go abroad to meet other people to date and possibly have a long-term serious relationship with. Okay. That's it for now, guys. We're going to shake and shimmy on out of here.